Welcome back. Now, joining me in the studio is Amanda Baker. She is a sales and marketing consultant in the area, and she's come to talk about her Endeavour.
Endeavour, yes.
Oh, well, welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
So, tell me a little bit about Endeavour, because it has a little bit of a history behind the name, is that right?
It does. I was very fortunate to have Colin Dexter as a very good friend of mine. So when I decided 12 months ago to actually set up on my own as a sales and marketing consultant in the hospitality, leisure and tourism industry, I asked my dear friend if we could possibly use the name Endeavour. My theory behind Endeavour is I wanted something that was represented Oxfordshire, because that's where my client base would be, and also that had a meaning to what I offer. So Endeavour to do something better or great and that sort of thing. So one sunny afternoon, I had a afternoon tea with Colin at Kidlington, and really nice on the River Thames, and I sort of said to him, right, Colin, what do you think? Would you like me to use that? Are you happy for me to use Endeavour? And he was over the moon. He said, my dear, I'm sure if you know Colin, that's sort of, my dear, you can use it. You have my complete blessing. And so I always used to carry a journal where I'd write my ideas and what I wanted to do and who I should contact and things as I was going to start up in this business. And he said, Amanda, please, I need to write this in your journal. And he very kindly wrote a lovely piece in my journal, and he signed it. So he said, that's it. No one can say that you're not allowed to use it. I have given you full permission.
Oh, that's lovely.
So I'm delighted, absolutely delighted.
For people who aren't 100% sure of Colin Dexter, he wrote the Morse.
Novels.
One more if I say. So he's a really big part of Oxfordshire, as you said.
Huge part of Oxfordshire.
It's pretty great when you get out as your startup. But you've only been doing it for 12 months, this new company. So what led you down the path of wanting to make your own company?
It's a hard decision, I have to say. It's a hard decision. I spent over 20 years in the tourism industry as a sales and marketing consultant for various hotels or venues, and I decided that I wanted to do something that just didn't concentrate on one venue or one property. I wanted to be able to offer my services and my expertise to a number of clients. And as you do, when you start these things out, you have the idea in your head and you think, oh, will it work, won't it work? And you go all through the pros and cons. And I'm of a character that if I didn't try it, I know I would be kicking myself. And I'm like, why didn't I go for it? So I reached the stage in my career where I thought, well, this is now or never, and it can go either one way or the other.
And how has it gone?
And it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's always nerve-wracking, isn't it, when you start out anything, as you say? I mean, obviously you've been in the industry for many years.
20 years, yeah.
So, I mean, was it just because you didn't make that jump before now? I think
you needed to experience, you need to have that experience and that knowledge, and also about people, about the knowledge of what you do, but also people you know, and that network of clients and things, to gain you some sort of credibility when you go out on your own. Because if I didn't do that, 15 or maybe 10 years earlier, I probably wouldn't be as knowledgeable as I am now. So there is a degree where you have to go, you need to gain that experience before you make the break.
But you're working with some big companies now. I mean, that's pretty great for your first 12 months.
It is very good, yeah. I'm delighted with the success. I'm very passionate with all of my clients. And being a sales and marketing consultant, some of the clients don't necessarily want to employ a sales and marketing manager for 12 months or for whatever length of period of time they want it. So they only want sort of a short-term contract. So it sits in quite nicely with the portfolio of what I'm able to offer. But it's interesting because when I am sort of out and about talking to various people, I have different hats that I keep changing because of the people I'm talking to and the clients I'm representing. So
that's a skill though in itself, isn't it, really?
Well, thank you, but I enjoy it. So I think that says enormous enough in itself. The fact that you can enjoy your job. And
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think especially in this area, you have so many startups and people who are actually just looking for that little help and a little extra push, and that's something that obviously not having a full-time person can actually bring.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't want to commit to employing somebody and you want something in a short-term basis, some advice or a sales and marketing strategy, or where do I go? You know, how do I achieve something? But you don't want to have to take that plunge, or you don't have the time to do it yourself. A lot of clients just don't have the time, or that they're so busy in their own role or what they're doing in their delivery that they can't see the wood for the trees. So they need someone that can come in from the outside and actually go, well, you need to do this, because they don't obviously see some of the signs that someone from the outside would actually see.
Oh, definitely. And as you say, you know, they probably can't wear all those hats because they're so deep and into what they've got. But you also do have work with some interns, is that right?
Yes. Last year I was very fortunate. I was approached by a company called Green Units. And they have designed and manufactured eco-sustainable buildings. And they have they were doing quite well in getting the marketing out there, but they had an opportunity with some Oxfordshire interns. But they had the interns for 4 weeks, and they were too busy doing what they were doing, and they needed someone to come along and say, right, okay, manage the interns, explain what needs to be done.
Oh my goodness.
No, it was good. It was exciting, and it was quite nice because they're very intelligent, and they were studying things that were way over my head. But it was quite nice to bring them back down to basics and go, okay, for a sales call, this is what you need to do. And we need to get you on LinkedIn, and you need to identify how you're going to get past the gatekeeper and make those calls, and then what you need to do with follow-up. So it's quite nice because they're so specialised in what they do. They probably have never had the opportunity to do sort of calls like that before. So they were promoting green units with my guidance, and they did a fantastic job. They really did, and they were such a lovely bunch to work for. So for any companies that are looking at internship, that would be a great thing for them to do.
I think in this day and age, what was kind of a little bit worrying about, I think, for most companies to take on interns is that we're a completely different generation now. Lots of people are not picking up a phone, and they're scared of a phone call, and they're just tweeting and emailing. And obviously, that's fine in a time and a place, but that skill is actually being lost. Did you see that when you had them?
I did, and it was quite interesting because they would be very quick to send an email, and I'm very sociable, and I'd be like, no, let's get on the phone to the client or whoever, because you're going to get so much more out of a telephone call. You know the inflections of voice, you know whether it's not good for them to have that telephone conversation at that moment in time. They're not interested in listening to you, so it's like, well, can I call you at a different time? Let me know when it's convenient. And it's all about sort of, I'm an old school. I'm definitely old school. Meeting face-to-face or on the phone is the way. And then obviously follow it up with an email and information that you're going to send, because obviously that's your call to action. But yes, I can see this. There is a degree that it's easy to hide behind an email or tweet or whatever.
Are you worried about that as a future generations? Not for you yourself, because obviously you're still doing that path. But do you think that might be a problem for people who want to become sales and marketing consultants in the future?
I think that there is always going to be an element of social media and social advertising and promotion. But I think there will become a point where we will go back to basics, and we will go back to the networking and the meeting, and the not necessarily the deals done over the golf course, because that's although it does happen, but it will be very much people buy from people, and if you're able to meet with people and then look at a really good website and then their LinkedIn profile, it's all those elements that build a bigger picture. So I think you have to almost always have a degree of being personable with people.
Well, I think you find that a lot of companies say that basically they go for a coffee with someone and then they've come out with a pad loads of ideas. I mean, that is your basic networking. You're not just hiding behind a computer.
No, and that's it. And networking is, particularly when I'm on my working on my own, it's great to go to networking events and brainstorm. And you do get some loads of ideas because you're away from that working environment where you would have a team around you. When you're a consultant on your own, you don't have that brainstorming opportunity. So to do networking, yeah, you definitely come away with lots of ideas.
Do you think that Oxfordshire is getting bigger and better for business investments? I mean, do you take part of that to help people from the start?
Certainly with the innovation vouchers, which was from the Thames Valley Chamber of Commerce, that was huge investment for Oxfordshire and small businesses, where they could obtain some money in terms with a view of either promoting employment or their website or social media. So that in itself is a great opportunity. And there's lots of investment going on, happening in Oxford. You only have to look at sort of the gateway at Banbury and the retail part there, and obviously the transport, that the new train station that's going to bring more business into Oxford as well, which is a great. Oxfordshire is a great opportunity for all investors, both sort of internal and people who live in Oxford.
I think people are a little bit wary of when they hear about Oxfordshire, Oxford city centre itself, because obviously there's no parking, it's expensive. And I know that there is a new train line coming, so that hopefully will bring more business this way. But I mean, Oxford has so much to offer.
It is a huge amount of potential for investors. I just think that it's. And it's obviously been recognised, obviously, with the new shopping centre that's been opened and the employment there. And you've only got the surrounding areas of Harwell and Didcot and the science parks and things. Again, there's a large expanse of land that the development there is huge. So yes, it's certainly the place to be. So
I guess in a way it's kind of easy for you to get it back involved because you have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
And would you be anywhere else?
Oh no, not at all. Why would I? When I love the city, the dream inspires, and the tourism, of course, that's my background, the hospitality. We're very fortunate, I would say, to be in Oxford.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming in today, Amanda. It's great to talk to you. Thank you.